Hello, everyone. It's Prescott Night, and welcome to another Monday Fun Day. I'm pretty lucky because don't start work that early on Monday, so I get to sleep in, I get to relax, I get to drink my coffee in the morning. My sister's even luckier because she gets to wake up early every day, and so she gets to wake up and help cook breakfast and things like this. Hi, LaDonna, how you doing? Um, so this is kind of fun. Now, my topic for today, if I had to make it a title, well, hi there, Daisy. I would call it "How I Got on Wikipedia," because this is something I'm actually kind of proud of. I don't have an article about myself, but I do have I am in Wikipedia in a different article that they mentioned me, and I thought I'd talk about this because this was kind of a crazy thing that happened to me last year. Now, we're going to have to go back a little bit to the history of what happened. Now, for those of you not living in Poland, probably about, I guess, 15, 20 years ago, they had a TV program called Europa da się lubić. And this was a program, it translates to something like Europe can be liked, or we can like Europe, or Europe is likable. It doesn't really translate well, but it sounds good in Polish. And the whole point of the program was to get a bunch of Europeans that were living in Poland, so they all spoke Polish, but not as a first language. And they would talk about different life things, comparing life in their country, for example, life in France to life in Poland or Italy. They had some English guy. And I had a lot of friends at the time who were like, wow, Press, you should be on this program. It would be fun. You would be great at talking. And first of all, I'm kind of a humble, modest guy, so I'm like, no, nobody would really want to listen to me talk. But then again, I found the better thing, because that argument didn't work at all. And so I just started to say, hey, I'm not European, I'm an American. We're not from Europe, so being on a program that is all about Europe, that wouldn't really do anything for me. And this was right at the time that Poland was joining the European Union. So I guess the program was talking about how to encourage people to like Europe and things like this. And I even knew a guy from Italy, a friend of mine, an acquaintance, I guess you would say, and he was on the program, and I found out later he became a professional singer, so he used this program to start his whole singing career and become a singer, and so that was kind of fun for him. Anyways, fast forward a couple years, and when I met Elizabeth 4 years ago, my life improved greatly. We won't talk about how wonderful my life is now compared to how it was, but we also talked a lot about personal development and how to make yourself a better person. And we went to some seminars on personal development and things like this. And I was surprised because I had never really thought about it that much. And lots of them talk about positive thinking, and if you focus on good things, you get more good things. If you focus on bad things, you get more bad things. So it was a lot about controlling your thoughts, controlling your mind, and keeping things in a positive light. And I was starting to think, it sounds kind of crazy. But then, you just, if you're around positive people, you start thinking more and more positive. So this was nice that I pretty much surrounded myself with very positive people. And so this was something that starting last year, I guess this might have been the end of 2019. So just at the end, like November, a friend of mine sent me a message because I have a little problem. I don't have a TV set. Downstairs, my in-laws have a TV set, but I don't watch TV. So this is just something that I don't, if I catch news, I do a lot of reading for news on the internet, but I don't watch TV. So I don't know what programs are on. Sometimes at work, kids ask me, oh, have you seen this commercial? And I just say, nope, haven't seen it, don't have a TV. And so a friend of mine wrote to me that they were starting a program, America da się lubić. And I remember thinking, it's like, oh no, I promised everyone that if there was a program, America da się lubić, that I would try and get on this program. And so I thought, wow, if there is a program, then I have to at least try and get on it. And so they had this little email, and they just asked if you were an American living in Polish who spoke Polish and I guess are funny and handsome and everything. And I thought, wow, that's so not me. But anyways, I thought, if positive thinking, sometimes the world like gives you a little bit and then it might go further. And so if you know, if you get a chance to do something fun and nice, you should always take it. So I thought, okay, I'm going to do this. So I wrote them a nice email and I said that I live in Little Mountain Village. I've lived in Poland for over 20 years. Yes, I speak Polish. Nothing really exciting. So then they sent me back a big questionnaire. And so like 3 pages. So I had to fill out, and I guess they liked my answers, because then they asked me to make a little recording of some of the funny differences between life in Poland and life in America. And I guess I could do a whole Monday fun day about things like that. Because some small things are crazy. Even the tiniest things. In Poland, they put light switches for the bathroom outside of the bathroom. And so sometimes when you're in the bathroom, people turn off the light because they think, oh, the light's on. And in America, the light switch is inside the bathroom. And so even small things like that always confuses people. And if you don't realize the differences between cultures. But so I made a film and sent it to them. And then they asked me to come to Warsaw and go for an interview. So they had this special day where they had a bunch of Americans come in an interview. And I remember I live in a little tiny mountain village now, and I don't know if there's any other Americans here. I think I'm the only one. I think there's one Irish guy that I've never met, but someone's told me about that. So I don't talk to Americans that much. And so it was kind of funny going to Warsaw and seeing a bunch of Americans in one place. It was kind of a funny thing. Everyone speaking Polish with a funny accent. It was awful. And so I guess they liked me because then they had me sign up. They signed me up for 3 programs. So I was on 3 programs. I was on a program about money because I love money. We talked about freedom in America, and so it was a lot of stuff. It came to a lot of stuff about, for example, if you're legal to own guns and some things like this. And then we had a program about country life. And this was kind of funny for me because, I was born in Los Angeles, but all through my life I'd been moving to smaller and smaller cities. And I guess sometimes I think that Oklahoma affected me much stronger as far as my personality than California did. It just might be because I was a little older and was more independent, so I noticed things going on more. And so they had me go on 3 separate programs. And what is it like to be on TV? Wow. And this is actually what I wanted to talk about. Being on TV, it's a crazy mix of excitement and boredom. Crazy mix of excitement and boredom. Yeah, that's what it is. First of all, when you get there, it's almost like, now, for some people who don't know, I worked for probably about 6 years in a preschool, in a bilingual preschool, teaching 3-year-olds how to speak English. Really fun, rewarding job. But working with small kids, it's kind of funny. I should probably talk about that in the future also. Because you can't really leave a group of 3-year-olds alone. You always have to make sure that they're walking in little groups like sheep. And so sometimes you just feel like a sheepdog, keeping them moving in the right direction. And when you're on TV, there's always someone watching you. Because we had, in each program, there were generally 4 Americans and 2 Polish actors or singers, or we had a big weightlifter once. And so there were 2 Polish stars, 4 normal Americans, and then we had our host. And so it was a lot of fun, and they never really let you alone. So when we were the Americans, there would always be someone kind of nearby watching us, and these were usually really super nice guys. And they would be like, okay, we're going to put you in your little dressing room right now, your little room. And so then they said, now, don't go anywhere because we'll come back to get you. And so then they came back and they took us and they said, now you're going to get your costumes. And so it was pretty fun. That one of the episodes I had like this wonderful money suit. So it was all just a design of money. And I told them that I wanted to steal it. And they said that, no, you can't steal it. And so this made me kind of sad. One episode for country, I was wearing a cowboy hat and I got to wear my own boots. So that was kind of fun. And then on another set, I was wearing just like jeans. But I'll talk about that episode in a second. But anyways, they followed us all the time. So they took us as a little group and they said, now you're going to costumes. And so a super nice costume lady, there was like probably 3 or 4 people just doing costumes. And so they would try this on, maybe this, maybe this. And so a big room with all these costumes. Little kids would probably love it because it's like costume dress up playtime. So they were like, oh, try this on. Maybe not this. Maybe try this on. Maybe not this. Maybe try this on. And so they were trying to get us all looking nice. And then you got to get a free haircut. So I thought, wow, this is great. It was by the time we were filming, it was in the middle of coronavirus. And Elizabeth's sister had cut my hair at home because all the hairdressers were closed. And so yeah, I got to have a free haircut, which was kind of nice. And so they did my hair and they did makeup, which was really strange because I've never worn makeup in my life, but they put like a powder base on it to make my skin not as shiny, which I can see I should probably do it also here for these movies. And so everyone was watching us. So first it was costumes, then makeup, and the stage. Wow. We had a big, huge stage. I mean, somewhere on my Facebook, I have an expression. I took a selfie. I don't often take selfies, but when I first saw it, it was like, wow, so much emotions that there were lights everywhere, and the stage was huge. I mean, we regularly had tractors and trucks driving through the stage. So it was a huge room, but it was in a big warehouse. So half of the warehouse was set up as a stage, and then the other half was like all kinds of other crazy building materials, sound stage, everything. And so the place was huge. And I remember when I got there, I'm just like, oh my God, this is all for us. We're going to be doing all kinds of things. I mean, they had cables everywhere, speakers everywhere, lights, cameras, everything. I couldn't tell you to today how many cameras exactly they had. They had cameras hidden everywhere for filming. And they had, I loved watching the big boom. They had a big boom come with the camera that actually knocked my water off once because it hit everything. And so it was crazy. And how many people, just to make one silly television program, there were, I didn't count, but there were probably 100 people running around doing everything. And I felt kind of strange a little bit. Now, like I said, I'm a simple guy. And it felt weird to be set apart. It's like, oh, that's one of the Americans. And so I mean, you could see we were all like curious. None of us were professional TV people. There were a few YouTubers, which I guess they do things like this, which I don't know if this is like TV or not, but a couple of the people. And I remember at one time I was talking with one of the Americans, and because we were kind of strangers, and so we were trying to get to know each other. And they were like, okay, we're going to move these tables over here and move these tables over here. And so we could hear all the guys talking. And I thought, I worked in a school for a long time. And when I hear tables need to be moved, I'm like, oh, okay, that's me. And all of a sudden I realized when I was about to go do something, all of a sudden there's like 10 guys already carrying the table. And I thought, wow, it's not my job right now to carry tables. I'm like something special, something different. And so this was kind of very interesting experience to be like, okay, my job is just to stand here right now and wait for them to get ready, and wait for them to get ready, and wait for them to get ready, and wait and wait and wait. Half of filming, to make a 1-hour film, we worked for about, counting costume and makeup and everything, it was about maybe 10, 11 hours of work. And so you start to do something, and then all of a sudden the director, who was a very interesting guy, he was almost like a coach that yells and screams at everyone to try and get a better performance. And so that's kind of how I saw him, as like this mean, nasty coach that makes you do as best you can. And so then after it's all over, you think, wow, thank you for being so mean and nasty because you really helped me. But he had this microphone, and so even wherever he was, if he went to his microphone, everyone could hear it. And so all of a sudden it's like, wow, this voice is saying, this light's bad. And so everyone goes and tries to figure out which light is bad. And I know at one time we were doing a scene where we were supposed to walk on the camera, and I was like behind a wall and I thought I was hidden. And all of a sudden he yells, "Oh, that guy, you're visible." And I thought, wow, I feel sorry for him, whoever it is, because he's visible. And thank God I'm not. And then he's like, "You in the suit, what's his name? Prescott, get out of the screen." And I'm like, ah. And so I ran off and hid behind the wall even more because I thought I was hiding. So yeah, that's crazy that happened. Let's see. Sometimes they made I got to sing, so we had some singing numbers, which luckily I was singing in a group, but it was a lot of fun. Um, let's see, one of the other funny stories, exactly about costumes. We were doing the thing about freedom, and for some reason, the costume people thought that I should dress up like Kojak. Kojak. Now, Kojak is way before my time. I've never watched Kojak. I know people who are older are like, "Oh yeah, Kojak, bald guy with raincoat and lollipop." And so they were even happy. They were like, "Here's your lollipop that you can have during the thing." And so I had this raincoat, nice hat, and so I was happy. I'm like, okay, I look like Kojak. And but then when we got to the actual stage and we're starting filming, the director is looking at us and he's like, "Okay, okay, okay." And he makes a funny face when he looks at me and he's like, "Press's clothes are too dark. We have too dark." And so I remember thinking, it's like, okay, too dark. What does that mean? What do I do? Have more lights on me or something? But then I noticed like 3 other people were in their walkie-talkies already. "Press's clothes are too dark. Prescott's clothes are too dark." And I hear them scrambling. And then probably about 45 seconds later, 3 costume people come running down with big piles of clothes that they're carrying all these clothes. And they're like, "Prescott, come here." Now, I had already had my makeup, my hair done. I had my microphone, so I had this little cable running to a battery pack in the back. So I had my microphone in and everything. And they're like, "Come here, we got to change your clothes." And I'm like, "Okay, where?" And they're like, "Right here." And so, yeah, so there I was. And they did it so fast, I was about to start taking, they're like, no, just put your hands up. And so I had my hands up and 3 people take off all my clothes. 3 people put all my clothes back on. I mean, just like preschool when we're going outside when it's cold, you just help the kids get on their heavier ski pants, and then you do that. And probably within about 2 minutes, I had a complete new set of wardrobe from when he said that I was dressed too darkly. And yes, a nice jeans outfit and some things like that. The programs, I don't know if you can find it. Well, it's in Polish. I don't know if there's subtitles. So all the American people watching this, I don't know if you can really watch it. I don't even know if it's on YouTube. To be honest, I watched 3 hours of TV last year, and those were the 3 hours where I was on TV. And so I've heard someone told me that they were on again as reruns recently, but I haven't watched them. I watched myself once. I did get to do some crazy things. I got to meet some very nice people. That there was one guy who does a traveling program, and he lives in America about 6 months out of the year. So he lives in Arizona. Super nice guy. So we had a lot of fun talking. There was a big sports guy that a big muscle weightlifter, like strongman type thing. And so he was also a lot of fun to talk to. Big, huge guy. I've met some musicians that, of course, I don't really listen to music much except country. So they're like, "Oh, wow, these rap Polish hip hop artists." And I'm like, yeah, I don't know who they are. And so this was kind of funny. I got to ride a mechanical bull, which was first time in my life I've got to do something like that. That was incredibly difficult. For some reason, on our program about country life, they wanted us to have a hamburger eating contest. And yeah, I ate. Now, I love hamburgers. I love eating hamburgers. This hamburger was so huge that at first I thought I could just take it. It was bigger than my hands were, so I could only do half. And I found out later that there was a guy who, one of the Americans from Virginia, I think, he was in eating competitions. And I guess the secret for eating competitions is that you hold your nose so that way you can swallow bigger pieces. Yeah, that sounds I think I would rather lose the competition than to win it by swallowing bigger pieces. I remember as I was eating, I took my hamburger in half, and so I took half of it and turned it upside down so I had bread on the bottom, and then I was eating it. And I remember at one point, I saw the guy next to me holding his nose and pushing the hamburger into his, basically down his throat. And I remember I almost started laughing because it looked so funny. And then I started panicking because what happens if I start laughing and then I start throwing up? And then everybody's going to throw up because we have 6 people on stage trying to eat hamburgers as fast as we can. And it was pretty scary. So yeah, boredom, excitement. Yeah, when you start doing something and you're sitting there and then they adjust lights for 20 minutes. And so you're just kind of waiting. Lots of the professional people, the singers and the actors and stuff, you could see that they were used to it because some of the singers, we had songs, so they were singing songs and all the things. So it was like a musical. We had dancers. It was a fun program, I guess. It was really fun to be on. I don't watch these type of programs usually, so I was kind of disappointed because if I hadn't been on there, I don't think I would have really watched it. But you could see some of the professional singers. They would just stand calmly while they're fixing lights, fixing microphones, getting everything ready. And then all of a sudden they're like, okay, go. And then full of energy and happy, singing, smiling. And then when they finish, it's like turning off the switch again and they go back down and they wait and you have to usually sing 2 or 3 times. And so minimum twice for everything. Sometimes if there were dancers and they had to practice, change things, then it might have been 4 or 5 times that they were singing. And so yes, making a TV program, it's like doing the same thing 5 or 6 times. And then sometimes they're trying to fix lights. Sometimes they're trying to do something else and do sound problems. Then they find out that, oh, look, you're supposed to be in a little different place. And so they have tape on the floor. Walk to this X, stand right here. And of course, the dancers, for example, I was amazed that they could remember all the things because the dance choreographer would say, now go over here and do this and do this and do this and give them like 25 steps. And I was like, wow, I could remember like 1.5 steps if I really had to. I mean, it's not English grammar. English grammar is easy. Those dancers were working hard, and it was amazing that they remembered every single little step and were smiling and looking happy. And so what's going to happen with this? It's kind of funny because after doing the filming, pretty much when I started work since I work in a school, I kind of count the start of the school year as September. And probably around October, my boss asked me if we could do a word of the day. And me just, since I'm now a movie star, TV star, I guess, that she asked if I could do word of the day. And so in November, I started recording YouTube videos. And then I decided that word of the day is kind of not enough, that we need some grammar work. So I started doing Grammar Sunday. And then, like I said 2 weeks ago, that everyone questioned that all of my films are in Polish and not in English when it's learning English. And so this is the English version. Will I be on TV again? God, I hope so. I would love to do more TV things. I noticed the first episode, I was very terrified. I was scared, stiff, rigid, and it was talking about money, which sometimes money is a little difficult topic to talk about for some people. And I was just scared, and lights and in camera, and sometimes when you're talking that the cameras are on you and you think, oh my God, do I look like an idiot? But I noticed by my 3rd episode, I felt a lot more comfortable. And so this again, when you do something a little bit more, it just gets easier and easier. So this is something that happens. I think that's about it. Sometime, I don't know, I guess I should translate the Wikipedia page in English. So America Dasze Lubić is in English also, so people can find it and they can know that, yes, I am in Wikipedia. And yes, I live in a small village in the mountains, so there's about 10,000 people. And I've done some work in different schools. I had some things where a teacher called me, an acquaintance of mine, and they're like, "Oh, I know this person, and I got your phone number. Could you come to our English class and just do like a 2-week conversation thing that you work for a few hours and just help the kids with speaking?" I'm like, "Sure, no problem." And so you get a group of sixth graders, and I could tell when I say that, "Oh, hi, my name is Press." And sometimes people kind of look at me funny and they raise their hand and like, "I saw you on TV last week." And it's like, yes, I was on TV last week, and yeah, thank you. And it was a lot of fun. And probably the only worst thing was, I guess, because I had to film for, there was a lot of work in Warsaw. So we had like one day I had to be there just for practicing, especially practicing what we were going to talk about. Another day I had to practice all the songs. And then there was the full days of filming. So I got to go to Warsaw about probably 7 times in a month. My boss wasn't happy because I had to take a lot of days off, but she was nice about that. But where I live to Warsaw, there's really no good road. And so I remember taking the train a few times. I drove a few times, and it was just lots of traveling. In Warsaw, I'm so happy I don't live in big cities. I'm like my little mountain village. It's so much, everything's so much nicer. It's cleaner. I don't know if I would want to live somewhere where there's no mountains. So probably the only place that I could really live is maybe someplace smaller. Except also I like to have grocery stores, so I don't think smaller. I think 10,000 is a good size place to live. Well, I wasn't expecting to talk this much. Wow, it's been quite a while. I still need to get ready to go to work today and go have fun because those kids aren't going to educate themselves. Thank you very much for listening. If anybody has any questions or anything, I would love to get lots of questions, and because I pretty much have noticed I spend all week thinking about what I'm going to talk about. This is actually probably one of the most difficult things that I've done recently, just sit and talk and try and make things interesting. Well, thank you very much, and I guess I'll see you guys sometime in the future. Okay, bye-bye.